It's Monday, the 8th of January 2018, and welcome to Navigating Your Day. So in Jinshin Jitsu, 8 came into the universe meaning rhythm, strength, and peace. If we can align ourselves with the energy of the 8, then we are able to access those qualities within ourselves and see that in the world around us. 8s are very active earth numbers, so it brings a lot of grounding. It wakes us up to reality. For many of us, this is the first day of work. So this is the reality. Holidays are over. I don't know, the overeating has to end. The lazing about has to end, and it's time to focus and get real and get practical about what we are going to do in the world today. And 8 gives us a wonderful foundation in order to do that. 8s are loyal. They, as I said, are practical, and they are solution providers, and they provide practical solutions. So less about talking, less about analyzing, less about thinking, and more about doing. You may find if you are surrounded by people who seem to be doing a lot of chatting and talking and ideas, that you may find yourself being impatient to just get on with it and start implementing. We have the 1 from January, of course, which is the second number, and we have the 2 from 2018. So we have earth and air and water in the root of the life map today. The air number of the 1 is, here I am, I'm fully integrated, I know where I'm going, I'm socially very active, I'm a leader, accessing my inner leader, and whereas 1 thinks that they are amazing, 8s very often worry that they're not good enough, because 8s want the job done perfectly. They need the job finished. Whereas 1s think that someone else can do the job and they don't have a problem with that. So you may have a tension today between almost the confidence of the 1 and the somewhat less confidence of the 8. You may find yourself being pulled that way. And what's also relevant is that the villain of today is the 1. So when we have the 1 in the villain position, then that's the negative voice in our head, which very often then gets to run the show. So we need to guard against that. We need to guard against that, that negative voice in the head that says to you, too stupid, too fat, too ugly, too much of a slob, not qualified enough, just not good enough for this, the not good enough, right? That's 1 in the villain position. So if that 1 in the villain position is allowed, if you allow that voice to essentially pull you down into a pit of negativity, then it will make the 1 in the root of the life map reactive, which means it will also go, oh my goodness, I'm not good enough. And the 8s will then just try harder and work harder and try and fix it to the point where they overrun their own boundaries and potentially burn themselves out. So please do guard against that today. We have the 2 of 2018, which is that nurturing 2, which is to remind us that it is really important to care for ourselves. And being clear about where our boundaries lie is a very important aspect of self-care. Being clear about what you're prepared to do, what you're not prepared to do, what you need in order to nourish yourself. And the 2 of the 2018, which is the 3rd number in the root of the life map today, helps us maintain that balance. So that's the energy that I would suggest you really try and connect to today to help to keep the balance and to be true to your emotions. Luckily, the hero of today is also a 2. So when we have the 2 in the hero position, then that our natural nurturer comes out. And so we just have to make sure that we aim some of that nurturing energy towards ourselves today. So if you're feeling frazzled, if you're feeling overwhelmed, if you feel as if your boundaries are being overrun, spend a little bit of time sitting quietly and asking yourself what you need in order to feel better. And I'm not talking about a glass of wine or a piece of chocolate. I'm talking about, what do you need? Do you need some rest? Do you need some energy in terms of, I don't know, do you need a green juice? Do you need a hug? Do you need to be kind to yourself? Do you need to just slow down? Do you need to just listen to yourself more? Or do you need to just sit with those feelings or emotions? So as I said before, the villain is the 1. And when we have the 1 in the villain position, then very often that critical voice in our head, it just doesn't let up, right? So the way in which to deal with a critical voice in the head is to listen to it, to be aware that that's what it is, and that it is not necessarily speaking the truth, and that there always is an alternative story, in fact, many alternative stories. So you can listen to it, and then once you've listened to it, you can choose. You can choose whether you're going to allow it to drag you down, or whether you're actually going to draw on that positive energy of the 2, the nurturing, being of service to others and to yourself in order to negate that critical voice. Safety energy lock number 8 is located on the index finger. So when you hold your index finger, you help to harmonize the bladder and kidney organ function energy. You also harmonize subconscious fears. And it's those subconscious fears that very often feed into the perception of us not being good enough. So if you hold your index finger, take a couple of deep breaths and focus on being kind and loving and gentle with yourself today. I hope you have a wonderful Monday, and I'll speak to you again tomorrow.